Hi, I'm Christophe from the YouTube channel Wine Wolf Spreading. So, today we're going to taste a Alsatian wine. It's a Riesling called La Chimère from Domaine brand in Ergersheim. Very interesting wine. First by the vintage is 2015.17 variety on the bottle. Why so? Is actually the 2015 Riesling who actually get blend with the 2017. Now it's not really a blend. If you prefer, when the 2017 get harvest, you restart the fermentation of the 2015 with the 2017 must. Very interesting, you will see. So 100% natural. But first, let's talk about the Domaine. So Domaine Philippe Brandt in Ergersheim. So we are on north part of Alsace, 12 miles on the west part of Strasbourg. So the Domaine gets built in 1956 by Philippe grandfather. After that, his father took over, Charles Brandt, and Philippe started to make wine around the 2008 vintage, and start to make natural wine in 2015. So the Domaine is in a biodynamic since 2001, and as I told you, Philippe started to want to cross and to pass the step to do a natural wine in 2013. So very interesting wine. So we are on a site called a lieu-dit in Alsace called Kefferberg, with actually a half-slope vineyard made on marl and a chalk soil. Very, very interesting site in Alsace with a lot of strength. And you can feel it when you go to walk there. You can even feel the strength of the vineyard when you're going to walk in the Kefferberg. So let's try. So that's it, 100% natural wine. So no entrant, no sulfur add. I opened the bottle yesterday morning, so that's 24 hours opening. Very important. The wine will not show if you don't open the bottle 2 or 3 hours before to drink it. So you have to be careful. Of course, if you're having a decanter, use your decanter. So let's see, because I haven't tasted yet today. Yeah, the nose is definitely more open. You can have having a smokiness coming from the chalk, very interesting. It's not going through all that characteristic aroma, sorry about that, of Riesling. Yeah, definitely more on a chalky nose that you can get. Very interesting. You can feel the alcohol as well. Perfect attack. You can feel first, very interesting, is the strength of the vineyard of the side, but as well the two vintage. 2015 is a wonderful vintage in Alsace. A very rich, very ample wine, making very lot of round wine, but without any sugar, not as 2018. 2017 is a bit more poor, more colder vintage, so let's bring a bit more acidity to it. Yeah. So you get the balance of the two is very interesting. It's a wine with a lot of potential. As I see, you got a lot of big roundness on the attack, but you got that straight acidity that I love it. If you like straight Riesling, high acidity as a motorway, please go for it, because that is wonderful. But I think it's still very young, and is going to be a very good age potential wine to lay a bit in your cellar at least for 5-6 years. I'm sure that wine in 6 years will be absolutely stunning. That will be interesting. I'm going to ask to Philippe Brandt if he doesn't do any Magnum, because that will be wonderful. So talking about the label, and that is very interesting. As you can see, La Chimère. La Chimère is the name of a poem from Guillaume Apollinaire, who is actually very well known. and it's a bit the big maillon of Philippe Apollinaire, and that is a calligram, and all the Alsatian wine made by Philippe in natural way will bear on a label a calligram, Apollinaire calligram, was actually very nice and very interesting and a lovely part. Philippe as well making a négoce wine from different varieties that he's going to pick all around France and sometimes Europe, with actually not the same bottle, of course, because it is not Alsatian AOC. And to make a difference in between the Alsatian part and the négoce part, the label will be more like a poem from Fable de la Fontaine, you know, Le Loup, l'Agneau, but we'll come back to it maybe in another post. But as I say, if you like a very big Riesling with a huge age potential, please go on that. And it's very interesting, so I don't know where you can find it, but trust me, it's a wonderful wine to taste here. You're having such a concentration that you almost feel then the wine is sweet. And it's that I do like with that maybe it's coming from the double fermentation, but the wine is quite big, warm, very, very good concentration. And it's that going to make the potential of the wine for the aging, and of course that acidity. You can a small minerality was actually pretty interesting, and the acidity is just straight. I think it's just a wonderful wine, and it's very digest. And alcohol-wise, we are at 13%, with actually a good alcohol content for the Kefferberg. It can go up sometime at 14.5, depending on the vintage. But I think it's a wonderful wine, a must-try wine, that's for sure. Domaine that you should and must discover if you're coming to Alsace. However, I think as the wine start to be sold all over the world, I think Philippe did a very good job to sell his wine in the wine business around the world. So perfect. And as I say, it's one of my last wine tasting video, because I'm going to go in with it, but I might to do some just for the pleasure with a different wine from a different country. All right then, so take care, enjoy, and drink well.